Welcome to Global Eats. There's a lot of fear about this second spike, so I'm taking no chances tonight. I'm making a chicken methi saag, or is it a chicken saag methi? Join me. So I remember a few years ago being in the Shepler restaurant in Sheffield. To anyone that's from Sheffield and likes Indian food, the Shepler, you probably already know about it already, but if you don't, then that's the place to go. It's been the same owners for 40 years, always consistently great food, highly recommended. Anyway, one night I was in there and I couldn't make my mind up. He was taking the orders and I couldn't make my mind up between whether to have a methi or a saag. And I just couldn't, what am I going to go for, a methi or a saag? And eventually Mr. Malik, the guy that runs the place, the manager, the owner, he said, I'll make you a methi saag. Now he might have been just trying to, getting a bit frustrated, me not being able to make up my own mind. But so a methi saag, I'll go for that, and it was wonderful. So I recreated it myself a couple of times before I went travelling, and it was also wonderful. I always did a king prawn one, and I would highly recommend it with king prawn. But tonight I'm going to be doing it with chicken, and I've not made this one in 2 years, so let's see how we get on. So ingredients. So we're starting with the usual. We've got small onion, chopped onion, half a green pepper. Tomato puree that's been diluted, so it's 1 tablespoon of tomato puree to 2 tablespoons of water, and that's all mixed together. We've got the curry base, as always, ginger and garlic paste, pre-cooked ingredients, so I've got chicken and mushroom, as always. You can put whatever you want in there. This recipe is completely vegan, apart from that. And then we've got the spices. So we've got in there, I think, about 2 teaspoons of the curry blend, the spice blend, which the ingredients for that is down below. I put about just over half a teaspoon of chili powder in there. There's some curry powder in there as well, some sugar, and also a tablespoon of dried methi leaf, the dried fenugreek leaves. I'll be adding more of that later on, but this is just so that the flavour kind of penetrates the sauce. What a sentence. Also, what else have we got down here? Done all that, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to chop a couple of chilies in there as well. They're looking a bit, they've had past their best, but they've been in the freezer for God knows how long, but they still do the job. And this is basically all that makes it a saag. So everything there, I'm making a methi basically, and it only becomes a saag because I chop up and chuck in this dirty little green thing. And basically that's a bag of spinach. What you get from your supermarkets, about the 300 gram bag. So you see the big bags that you get of spinach. That's basically that. It's been put in the microwave for 4 minutes and then just squeezed and squashed, and basically that whole bag of spinach just becomes this. And that's going to be chopped up really fine, and that's going to go into the sauce towards the end. Now it takes forever to actually, you want to get as much water out of that as possible, and I've been squeezing it for literally 10 minutes, but you still squeeze it and it just never stops. It soaks up the water so much, so that's about as dry as I can be bothered with right now. So there we go. So there's all the ingredients. Fenugreek's all there. I don't think there's anything over here. Okay, as always, you need to be ever so slightly tipsy before you attempt any kind of curry making. So tonight I've gone for this Kasoori del Diablo, which is a Chilean wine. It was £6. I normally pay around £5, but this was £6, but it was juiced from 8. So I thought, for an extra £1, I'm getting a decent bottle of wine. The world's most admired wine, apparently. Or brand, so I don't know what that means. Anyway, it was nice, and it's gone down a treat. As did this. So normally I drink a bottle of wine and then make the curry. Tonight I've drunk a bottle of wine, then had a beer, and now making the curry. So I'm a little bit late tonight. Because I am in lockdown. Well, I arrived back in England after travelling for 15 months, and I came back to visit my parents and see my parents. So I came back here to stay, and then lockdown happened. So I'm still here. So I'm making, but it's all worked out well because my mum gets to eat really nice curries every Saturday. Unfortunately, she only wants chicken in the curry, so I can't make king prawn, which I definitely would have done tonight. But my mum is a very fussy eater. She says she's not, but she totally is. I don't like king prawns, I don't like spinach, I don't like butter chicken, I don't like almonds, I don't like coconut, you know, but she's not fussy. But she's complained about every curry I've made, or she said, oh, I won't like that because it's got this in it, and then she's loved everyone, so, but she's not fussy. Right, okay, let's get on with it. Okay, first thing first is get a couple of tablespoons of oil or ghee or whatever it is you're using. A couple of tablespoons, get that heated up over a medium heat, and the first thing to add is the chopped onion and chopped green pepper, about half a green pepper for this. Okay, so I've got the onion, chopped small onion, and half a green pepper, and I put the fresh chilli in there as well. So the next thing to add is the garlic ginger paste, so about a teaspoon of garlic ginger paste. So take the pan off the heat when you add the garlic ginger paste, because you don't want that to burn, and get that nice and blended in with the onion and green pepper and chilli. Literally 30 seconds just to get it all mixed together, and then you need to add the spices. So here we go. So normally when the kind of recipes for methi that I've seen, the fenugreek leaves go in at the end, but I've found that it's actually better to put at least a third of what I asked for, put that in early, so that like kind of cooks into the sauce rather than just adding it at the end. So here goes, spices. Okay, so that's the spices added, so I'm just going to knock that back onto the heat and then add the next ingredient, which is the diluted tomato puree. And that all wants mixing together. Right, so that's all nicely blended together to form a thick tomato spicy masala. Your house will be smelling bloody lovely by now. So that's all the flavour that you need for your curry. So now it's time to add some of the curry base. So I'm going to add about a third of the base and just get the spices and the masala, tomato masala, kind of all mixed in together. And this is when it starts to resemble something that looks like a curry. So I thought there was something missing, I'd forgotten something, I couldn't work out what it was, and then I realised that I'd not got a beer. So I've opened another beer, another saltier beer, which is this blonde this time. Ah, lovely. So once you've got that first ladle of base in, you want to kind of cook that, keep stirring it, keep scraping the sides, but you want to cook that down until it's kind of like a thickish paste, almost a paste. But it's you can see it's very thick, and that's when you want to add the pre-cooked ingredients, which again is chicken and mushroom. If it was me, I'd go for king prawn. I think king prawn works really well in this dish. I'm really missing making vegetarian curries. Something with cauliflower in would be amazing, or you know, but. You know, I'm cooking this for me and my non-fussy mum, who doesn't think that she's eating anything unless it's got meat in it. So hence why we're having chicken again. And I know for a fact if I made a cauliflower curry, she'd go, oh, that was bloody lovely, that, I really enjoyed it. So she wouldn't even entertain the idea of having a curry that didn't have big chunks of dead animal in it. So here we go, chicken and mushroom. I find, to be honest, you know, when you're eating Indian food, it doesn't need meat. It's the flavour is in the spices, and you know, meat is just, yeah, it could be anything. I'm happy, just as happy in a mushroom curry or vegetable curry than I am eating a meat curry, unless, of course, you know, you're having like a tikka or something like that. But generally, it's yeah, the meat is just stuff to flavour, and that stuff could be anything. So right, enough of my babbling. There we go, that's all the pre-cooked ingredients nice and coated. So now, time some more base. Let's get some of that curry sauce going on. So I'm going to add about half of what's left. I'm going to mix that in, and I'm going to knock the heat up a little bit because I want this to thicken as it's cooking. So yeah, I'll come back to you in a minute. Look at that. That looks good, doesn't it? It almost feels a shame to put more curry base in it because it looks great already, and as soon as you add it you think, oh, have I put too much in? Is it going to be all runny and tasteless? But then you mix it all in and you stir, and yeah, it still looks great. So that's the last of the base, so I'm just going to do the same again. Mix this all in together on quite a high heat so that it thickens, and we're almost there. So there we go, that's all the base in now. So the next thing to do is to add the 2 tablespoons-ish. I think I've gone a bit overboard there, but you can never have too much fenugreek, as the old saying goes. So this is going in now, and my old good friend Steve Fox, who is also a big curry fan, recommended that I actually kind of, what's the word? Crush this in, as I put it in, so like kind of rub it between my hands. I did used to do that, and then I totally forgot about it. I think I'm burning the spoon. So yeah, so the next thing you need to do is kind of brush this in between your hands and get that into that lovely gravy. So now I've got the fenugreek leaves in. So basically, what I've just done there is I've made a methi. So you might be thinking, well, what's the difference, you know, between a methi and a methi saag? And I mean, you basically just made a methi. Well, basically, it becomes a saag just because I chuck some spinach in it. So that's the last thing to go in. A lob of spinach there, which I'm going to squash up into that sauce and mix in. So it's going to be quite a thick curry. It's not going to be the sauciest, but it should be flavoursome. And I'm also putting spinach in there because I'm trying to hide it from my mum. I'm trying to make sure that she eats enough vegetables, and so I'm trying to hide the spinach in there so she doesn't notice, despite the fact that she's not a fussy eater. So I've just finished the saag. I've just eaten it, and it was okay. It's not my favourite curry saag, but I thought I'd give it a go anyway. But I was really expecting my mum not to like it because remember, she doesn't like spinach. So she was eating it, and halfway through I said, well, I didn't think you'd like it because of the spinach. And she's like, yeah, but I can't see it. So chop up the spinach really, really fine and put it in the curries, and then your parents will never know it's there. Helpful tip from Global Eats. See you later.